I wanted to give you an update on the McCarrick Network in the United States. First thing is, Cardinal Knight Joseph Tobin has been named to the Vatican's Congregation of Bishops. Now, he is the second McCarrick Cardinal to be on that congregation, as Cardinal Cupich was on the congregation as well, and there's a chance that Cupich will be named to the prefect of that congregation once Cardinal Ouellette retires. Also, I believe Cardinal Wuerl served on that dicastery as well. And speaking of Cardinal Wuerl, The Pillar released an investigative article stating that Cardinal Wuerl was allocated $2 million for his continuing ministry. If you know anything about The Pillar, they are run by J.D. Flynn and Ed Condon, who are former employees of Catholic News Agency, which was owned by EWTN. A lot of people speculated that they were fired from CNA, and I have very little respect for them, as they have attacked Bishop Strickland, Taylor Marshall, Abby Johnson, Father Z, among other people. But their investigative journalism can be pretty solid. Now, Ed Condon had previously written an article supporting Cardinal Wuerl after the McCarrick scandal broke, and now the tides are turning and they're attacking Wuerl and the Archdiocese of Washington. Now, it's been no secret that Wuerl likes to live large. In the Archdiocese of Washington's financial statements, there are lots of confusions over net assets without donor restrictions, and $2 million was allocated to the continuing ministry activities for the Archbishop Emeritus. So this would suggest that the Archdiocese of Washington used either donations or certain other types of cash that they had on hand to allocate $2 million. And there's an ongoing back and forth between J.D. Flynn and the Archdiocese of Washington, so that's a story you definitely want to keep updated on. And finally, Stephen O'Reilly posted on his blog about McCarrick's visits to the White House. Now, in this blog post, O'Reilly references a previous blog post, and he says that McCarrick's meeting with the influential Italian gentleman must have been known to the McCarrick Report investigators, and it was mentioned in the Vigano Report and at McCarrick's speech at Villanova University. If you're not familiar with that, look up McCarrick's speech at Villanova University on YouTube. He mentions the influential Italian gentleman who talked to him about electing Bergoglio as Pope. But nowhere in the McCarrick Report was it mentioned. This blog post deals with McCarrick's meetings with the Obama administration. So between December 2009 and March 2016, McCarrick visited White House officials about 31 times for what appears to be an official business. O'Reilly says, "I've excluded from the count in the list below very large group meetings or holiday receptions." So these were specific meetings about specific topics, specific agenda items. McCarrick met with the Obama administration 13 times during Benedict's papacy and 18 times during the Francis papacy. The McCarrick Report mentions only one of those meetings, which took place in 2009. So conveniently, none of the meetings during the Francis papacy has been mentioned in the McCarrick Report. And an interesting note from this blog post, it says, "It appears McCarrick had one-on-one or small meetings with Vice President Joe Biden at least 3 times at the White House or the Vice President's residence. Aside from that, McCarrick is known to be close to Biden and his family." What did Biden and McCarrick discuss at the White House? Biden was the Obama administration's point man for China. Did Biden discuss China with McCarrick? Possibly the Vatican's secret negotiations with the Chinese Communist Party? We don't know. The McCarrick Report says absolutely nothing. It's very obvious that they're trying to hide a lot of information from us. And this investigation by Stephen O'Reilly is what we were hoping for whenever the McCarrick Report came out. We were hoping that people would be investigating this kind of information. The Vatican is laughing in our faces because these McCarrick cardinals are being promoted. Obviously, as lay people, there's very little we can do about it, but blog posts like this kind of investigative journalism is necessary on our path towards recovery as a church.